What up, nerds? Bujo Head Jody here. I've been bullet journaling since 2017, and I would like to show you my weekly spreads for April of 2021. So, got the end of our monthlies here, and we are going to start with this little half week. I keep comparing it to March, but yes, these are very similar. So we're doing similar ideas, where we have, for each day, we just have a place for best thing, worst thing, thing you're looking forward to, and then having a combination task list that is organized based off the Alistair method. However, we are making each week fit into just one page instead of having a week fill the full 2 weeks or 2-page spread. I definitely found I did not need so much space for my little sort of daily updates. So we're going to again alternate pink and blue and use the sort of little sunken in effects for each section, for each day. So we are only doing one box, quote unquote, per day. We will be breaking those up. You'll see that soon. But we're not specifically breaking out, one box per best thing, worst thing per day. That is just a lot, and we are making it a little bit simpler, a little bit smaller this month. So we're gonna do two lines of highlighter here. So this actually only spans, 4 lines there, but I'm actually making them into 5 lines because of how I've spaced the marker marks. So we are also going to break up the weekdays into 3 sections, which are the best thing, worst thing, thing you're looking forward to. But then the task section will actually be in 2 sections with 2 columns each, so that we can get the 7 days in the second part of each section, and then the name of the task in the first part. So yeah, you can see the task label there at the top in that top section, and then the days of the week will get their weekday and their date. So you can see here I have penciled out these are 2 full weeks here. So we're actually starting with the opposite color. So the last spread started with pink. This one starts with blue. Get little bit of variation in. And then we're also doing sort of a checkerboard pattern with the colors. And then we'll do the opposite on the next spread. Yeah, so these spreads have 8 of these little horizontal sections. So one for each day of the week, and one for the task list. Do like the simplicity of this spread. It's nice to just a little, and it's got a little bit of flair to it too with the sort of the sunken in effect and the little cutout in the corner. It did make for a little bit strange spacing just because I couldn't really include that full width of the cutout in whatever, horizontal spacing I needed. So if I needed, for the task, those 7 columns, I couldn't include that last little bit, that little notch on the end. But it was nice to get 2 weeks on a 2-page spread. Although because I'm using so much of this space, these sections are not going to get a lot of illustrations, or any, really. So we're still going with the little curly cloud theme. And this is just because so much of this real estate is taken up by these boxes. I mean, you could add, some little clouds peeking out from behind. But I felt that would be a little crowded. It's already pretty busy, or at least full. I'm rushing a little bit here, especially with these little side cutout bits. But it's also, It's kind of designed to be a quick spread. Obviously with a little bit extra flair from what we need. I am glad that I flipped that page and realized that it was upside down. Because I definitely would have started drawing lines and then realized halfway through. So I'm setting up that task area. So the way I actually drew out those lines is so when I'm using the chisel tip on these markers, they don't completely fill up the whole line between the dots. So what I'm doing, the top line is actually aligned with the top dots on that row. And then the bottom line is aligned with the bottom dots on that bottom row. So I'm actually making 3 rows out of 2 rows using this marker. So the weekdays get these 3 sections, and I have messed up because that box is supposed to be a task box. So I'm filling in the correct lines, and I'll go back and fix that later. My little white jelly roll. Not actually that big a deal, so. But especially with something like that, you get into a groove and you know, oh, I just need to line this all up and I don't need to count anymore, and you get excited and then you end up drawing the wrong lines. It's totally fine. So now I'm going in, doing all the date and day of the week labels. And then we'll check if that's dry and do a little update. Those are 2 full weeks right there. And then this next spread is gonna finish out the month. So we've got a full week, which by the rule of alternating the color that we're starting with starts with the pink. And then we have 5 days of the rest of that month. In that alternating checkerboard pattern for the color. And this was a month that I went in and I penciled in where all of the little cutouts were gonna go, just so that I could get all the spacing correct. It helps that it was only a couple pages, so this definitely wasn't as intensive as it would have been for last month, but so it was still nice, and that way I could go in and not have to worry about where I'm starting and stopping my lines or comparing it to, you know, the spacing of the previous month. Even though it was pretty consistent spacing, I didn't really change up anything in the layout for the odd months. But yeah, we're gonna go in, make that little sunken effect with these mild liners. And I have messed up once again. We put the mild liner where it shouldn't have gone. And this was an interesting one because it wasn't a line that shouldn't have been there, but it was in the wrong color. So I think this is actually one of the first times I've messed up where the color goes. So that was kind of an interesting thing, because eventually I'm going to write over that with the blue, but it's not like I could write directly over it because that would make, I don't know, purple. So I had to make sure to get it as, you know, white as possible with the white gel pen to make sure I wasn't mixing the colors, because that would definitely pop a whole new color on this page. So yeah, so I'm definitely being careful with that little corner right there. It was easier to do the detail first and then to go in with the big long strokes, the horizontal lines. It's funny, I mean, you know, I've only done this same spread, you know, once before, so I finally am in the groove with that. It's a lot different when you're doing the same spread over 4 times. You really get the process down. Whereas here, you know, I'm finishing all the weeks out, and I finally have figured out, you know, an effective process for it. Going in these double lines to make 5 rows out of 4. And then we'll get the spacing for the weekdays. We're going to be very careful and not mess up this task section. Count my 7 over for the days of the week. And then do the same thing for this pink section. Label everything pretty simple. Just making sure I got my numbers all right. Always nice when it works out in the end. That's essentially it. We are going to go in and make some little curly clouds. Now in the monthly spreads, I actually drew it out beforehand, but I believe this is all freehand. I just kind of went with what I was feeling. Obviously, I was feeling a little confused right here about what I should be doing next, but worked out because I liked that second cloud better than the first one I did. Well, that's fine. Yeah, we got these little curly purple clouds, or I guess periwinkle. But anyway, they are cute, and pretty much the only way I draw clouds now. So I got that little detail. It fit the whole month in just those couple of pages. And now we'll put some clouds here. And then fill those in. And those will be our weeklies. Look very cute. Thanks a lot. Bye.